Hi everybody, it's RPG Grandma. And we are continuing our adventures with the Forest Oracle. Now, our seemingly at times sandbox that's been rewritten to be a railroad. It's really what it feels like to me. We had two competing design visions. So the chaos that it has incurred is self-evident. But that's what I think. Just kind of reading through this thing. Assuming our party escapes the whole shenanigans at Bolo's pub, they're going to continue on their adventure. Alrighty. The forest is green and splashed with sunlight. Farther east, tall mountains seem to rise to the sky. There are the Dragon Teeth Mountains. The trail goes straight towards the mountains and then slightly to the southeast. The trees grow less thickly here. The trail appears to lead toward the mountains and up into them. A wind hitting at a change in the weather begins to blow. Ahead, two spires of naked gray rock jut upward, looming high above the mountains. From here, they seem almost impassable. Nearing them, the chance for a trail upward does not appear to improve. Until the base of the mountains, a trail skirts the bottom of the spires and seems to run between them. If the party follows the trail, they find what appears to be a big cave. Standing in the entrance, they feel a breeze. It originates on the far side of the Dragon Teeth Mountains. The tunnel looks much used, since the rock has been worn down in places. If the party looks for footprints, they find two types. 1. Footprints of beasts of burden and their drovers going in and out of the tunnel. Human. 2. Footprints belonging to orcs going out of the cave. These are several days old. Okay, let's just stop there. First, you got a good weather potential you can use if the party is dilly-dallying, because you have told them the weather seems like it's hinting to change. And by change, they probably don't mean getting sunny, because it's already sunny. So, I would keep that opportunity in the back of my head. The other thing is, looking at this, okay, obviously there's traffic out in the middle of this old, unused, unknown trail. See the mountains there? See them? This is what we're talking about in here. Okay, this is where Bolo's place would have been. So, we got the mountain range. That's this thing here. So, right in there. What shenanigans are going on? I mean, obviously we've got the orcs, they're a thing, but people droving animals? Well, the only people are the farmers. So some of these farmers apparently know where this is, besides the wizard, which we previously mentioned, who sent everybody on this mission, if we're running it per the book. And presumably are outlaws. Like maybe they're stealing animals. Maybe those two goats really belong to some farmer that was at their place. These are questions you should ask. Who are these people moving animals in and out of this cave? beasts of burden. I mean, what's going on here? You've got a regular trade thing going on, and the humans are doing it, and we're dealing with a human village. So, you either could go down the road of changing that to be like, like sheep or something's been driven through there. Again, you have to be asking what's going on. Or we've got caravans going in and out of here. Whose caravans? The smugglers? The gypsies? Who? So I want to throw that out there because you've given information. The players are going to be thinking this. Who? So you wanna, let that percolate. Players will probably throw up some suggestions. It could be better than yours. But the point is, you should have some ideas of your own based on what's going on in the module. And if the module doesn't tell you enough information, then you got to fill in the blanks. Because that who question is going to be bugging your crew of players. It just is. All right. So presumably they proceed on. Because nothing bad could happen, right, guys? The tunnel under the Dragon Teeth Mountains. The tunnel leads into the heart of the mountain. Light from the outside world becomes dim, grows gray, and finally disappears. I actually like that. I like that. I like that a lot. The breeze grows stronger, and the light of the torches and lanterns flickers. I make them worry about their lighting source go out. Also good. Also good. Along the walls, niches carved by unknown hands hold burnt torch stubs. They're going to ask how old, and you tell them, well, they're not covered in cobwebs. Along the walls, excited, I did that part. The floor of the tunnel runs straight and flat. A slight layer of dust lies over the smooth surface of the floor. But we have animals going in and out. So, once again, we have contradiction, but all right. Cavern 1. About 5,500 feet into the tunnel, another tunnel leads sharply off to the south. The wind blows steadily from the east. So, they're either going to go to the south or they're going to keep going east. If the party examines the dusty tunnel, number 1 on the area map, they find a large empty cavern, roughly 1,500 feet by 1,500 feet and 20 feet high. You can just tell them it's really big, and the ceiling, is way up there. But, the lantern light or the torch light can try to see the ceiling. It is empty, and there is no signs of life, although on the floor lies a skeleton, dismembered, of a deer. The party sees nothing on the way into this tunnel. On the way out, however, they notice that the walls of the tunnel are supported by rafters that look exceptionally old and weak. The rafters will begin to groan and creak as the party passes. After the party leaves the side tunnel area, the timbers give a final groan and collapse, showering the main tunnel with dust and small bits of flying rock. Thereafter, cavern number 1 will be sealed off. All right, so a couple things. Let's show you what the map shows us of cavern 1. We get this little part here. And there's another little part of it right there. You will have to redraw that, to be quite honest. However, there are some things you can do with this. Obviously, they're trying to not kill the party right away, and they're trying to warn the party that things don't look so great, and that it's the place is old and it might come down on your head. So if your party goes in here, you know they're going to explore. I would try to give them hints that maybe it's an unsafe area, like every so often a rock, a pebble seems to, that if they push around, maybe some pebbles, some rocks fall, that kind of thing. And I would let them worry about the deer skeleton. There's deer bones all over the place. What's been eating the deer? Now remember, there's cavemen in the game. I might put, like, the notice on the walls, cave paintings or something. Just I might do that. But I do something with this to give them some foreshadowing if they haven't run into the cavemen yet. Just might. Anyway, so they get a heads up that maybe the tunnel system here is not too safe. So proceeding on to Cavern 2. The direction of the main tunnel changes slightly to the south-southeast. Even though the direction of the tunnel has changed, fresh air still blows from the exit due east. About 4,500 feet east of the entrance to tunnel number 1, the main tunnel turns due south for another 1,500 feet before it bends south-southwest for another 1,500 feet. It ends in a cavern 3,000 feet long, 800 feet wide, and 20 feet high. Small tools lie near 6 mounds of earth, which seems to have fallen from the ceiling. Something protrudes from under one of the piles of earth. Well, since they've gone investigating instead of following the air, this is what they're going to come up against. The cavern is crumbling and in poor condition. This is Area 2 on the Area 5 map. So let's take a look at that real quick. That's on this back here. Hold on. I miss the old style modules. I miss it, but it's just impossible to justify how much a used one of these would be. So hopefully you can see that. All right. Like the first cavern, it threatens to collapse if its supporting timbers are treated roughly. If the party investigates, they find a small mattock and a sledgehammer, suggesting that someone smaller than a human used them. If any party member's rolls his wisdom or less, he recognizes these are dwarven tools. Under one pile of the rubble, a boot sticks out. Under the boot, a skeleton foot is attached to a leg, and so forth, until the entire skeleton of a dwarf in mail buried in a minor cave-in is uncovered. The dwarf has 25 gold pieces in his purse. If anything is taken from his skeleton, or any of the 5 dwarf skeletons under the other piles, all 6 animate and attack. All right. Disturbing the rest of the dwarfs will get you attacked. These are unhappy, unfulfilled dwarven spirits, okay? These dwarven skeletons, AC 7, movement 12, hit dice 1, hit point 5 each. Their AT number is 1, damage 1 to 6, warhammer or mace, and they've got no special attack. They do have special defense note here. Suffer only 1/2 damage from a sharp or edged weapons and full damage from blunt weapons. Fight until they are totally destroyed. None of their armor fits man-sized or larger creatures, and none of their weapons are magical. Each skeleton possesses 25 gold pieces in a pouch. If the party chooses, they may attempt to bring down the roof on the skeletons by pulling away supporting rafters and beams. This prevents the skeletons from getting at the party. However, the party will not be able to get any of the treasure the dwarves have in their pouches at their waists. The party will become trapped on a 1d20 and must spend 6 hours digging themselves out. So that's if the party tries to knock the rafters down. They'll automatically cover the dwarves according to the conditions here, but they have a chance of getting trapped there too and have to dig their way out. So there you go. Don't disturb the dead, right? All right, moving onwards. The trail splits. The tunnel goes northeast for about 2,500 feet until a noticeable split occurs in the trail. Branches lead northwest, northeast, and south-southeast. Of the three branches, only the one going north-northeast has a breeze. If they stay on track, they're going to do pretty good. But there you go. That would be the zone right there. Cavern 3. So if they go this way, instead of staying on track, we're going to go up in here. So this is 3. This was 2. The tunnel to the northwest leads to an empty cavern. There is evidence of mining in the past. Chipped rocks and other debris cover the floor. High-pitched laughter rings out from behind a large boulder, and out steps a tiny, hunched figure dressed in rags and shredded chainmail. I see you found your way in past the orcs. You must be very, very careful, or they catches you and does bad, bad things to you. I know. I have seen them. They can't catch me. They try and they try, but I escape and escape. They can't catch me. All right. Thrisvin Talus, Dwarf Fighter, Level 3, AC 7, Strength 17, Intelligence 14, Wisdom 15, Dexterity 12, Constitution 19, Charisma 10, Hit Dice 3, Hit Points 20, is crazy. Living alone for countless years in the played-out mines and collapsed tunnels has taken its toll on him. He has lived in fear of the orcs for the last 25 years and has waged a guerrilla war on them. On a 1-3, 1d6, he is insane. Stringing answers together with facts and whimsy. On 4-6, he is perfectly sane and coherent. This is rolled each turn. Note, he kind of has a Dr. Seuss way of speaking, So brush up on your Dr. Seuss and have fun with it. The dwarf knows the secret of what is hidden in the dwarven forges. The entrance to the forge area is behind the large rock. The party may search the mine. Any party member who rolls a 1 on a 1d6 finds a small piece of worthless gemstone. No other gems are found. So then it goes on, remember the map, it goes up to another cavern area, to Cavern 3A. So let's see. I know why you're here, Thrisvin says. He looks around craftily. The orcs have searched for ages for my secret. They can't have it. No one can have it unless I want them to. And I don't want orcs to have it. He puts his finger to his lips. Shh. They are listening, I can tell. He turns and motions towards the rock. Behind the rock is a narrow ribbon of land that seems to waver in the torchlight. Walk carefully. Stay behind me. It is a long way down. He tosses a pebble over the side. It clatters and clicks on the way down, but does not hit bottom quickly. So, you could do the 1/1000 thing for a bit. This narrow ribbon of land extends across the great chasm. No bottom is in sight. Characters must roll their dexterity or less or lose their balance. A character losing his balance falls to the edge. He must make a second roll or go over the edge. The chasm is almost 200 feet deep. If the PCs are roped together, add 3 to the PC's dexterity rolls. If any PC still fails both dexterity rolls, the rope will break and he falls into the chasm. Guess I didn't want to pull the whole party in. See, I don't know. I would change that a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if I would want it automatically breaking. I also wouldn't want to pull the whole party down either, just because. But it could be a potential still. Just saying. How long is that bridge? Did it tell us? Let me look at the map. It's a pretty long bridge. Pretty long bridge. All right. So let's assume they get over on the bridge there. And we're going to head into Cavern 3A. Tisvin holds a torch high. Light glitters off rusted metal working equipment and partially finished weapons. This is the famed lost dwarven forge of the Dragon Teeth Mountains. He shakes his head sadly. Gone, all gone. There should totally be rumors about a dwarven forge before the players get here, unless they have literally just wandered in with no idea where they're going and on no mission into this cave system. They should have, oh, the dwarves used to have a forge up in there? No way. There was a dwarven community in the Dragon Teeth Mountains? What happened to them? Oh, it's a terrible, terrible tale. Which apparently the orcs had something to do with. But that should be a rumor, right? It should be some information floating around that they can pick up from, Outlaw Red or Barber Timmy. I mean, I know they're not very middle-aged names. I'm just saying, man. All right. No weapon the party finds is of any value. If the party investigates carefully, they find an anvil sitting on a wooden base. The base will yield a hollow sound if tapped. Concealed inside the base, the party finds magical bracers, +1, brought here to have gold leaf put on by dwarven craftsmen. Okay, so that tells us there should be gold working equipment in here. A man-sized suit of chainmail and a sword, +1. Thizvin knows what these items are, but he must be sane to tell the party the truth. Otherwise, he will tell them they are bracers of fumbling, chainmail +3, and a cursed sword. He believes this to be true when he is insane. All right. A stone clatters at the side of the cave. There stands a peculiar creature with 6 legs, about the size of a small dog, yellow in color and possessing spade-like teeth which project from its exposed bony jaw. That thing. Way cooler than just an average rat, right? Well, it's also cool because I recognize this, and this is inspired by Edgar Rice Burroughs' Mars stories with various heroes doing stuff. And these things with the 6 legs, naked tunnel rats, giant of unusual size, live in tunnels and dungeons underneath Martian cities. They might be a different color, but it's definitely inspired. So right here, anybody who wants to play Barsoom using D&D, here's one of the critters. Okay. For each person in the cavern, one Osquip, that's what they're calling them, will appear. Their AC is 7, their movement is 12, and then 1/2. Hit dice is 3 + 1. Hit points 19 each. Their 18 number is 1. They damage 2 to 12 bite attacks, and they don't have any special attack or special defense. They slink forward, uncertain, making small, squealing noises to themselves. Yeah, they can coordinate, guys, so play them intelligently. The party will be able to attack the Osquips first. For every round, the melee continues. One additional Osquip comes from their hiding tunnel complex high in the rock face above the forge. So the 1/2 is probably them climbing down. That's them climbing down and then approaching carefully. And then when they decide to attack, then they really get going. All right. So, these things are going to keep spawning. And since the holes are in the ceiling, that's going to be a problem. The attack of the Osquips makes Thizvin go totally insane. He begins screaming and cannot be reasoned with. His strength becomes 1875. Thizvin's attack. Thizvin runs around hitting at the Osquips with a wooden club. One Osquip takes a bite out of him, leaving his arm hanging and useless. He screams wildly, "Run! It's the end of the Dwarven Forge! All over!" He then runs into a large bracing timber and tugs at it. "Run!" he yells, "or you are doomed." Rocks and earth threaten to fall from above. The party may run or attempt to stay and fight. The Osquips will not follow them across the bridge of land. I don't know why they wouldn't, but all right. The party members crossing back must again roll their dexterity or less, or stumble. If they fail a second time, they fall into the chasm. Add 3 to the PC's dexterity rolls if they are still roped together. As soon as they make it to the other side of the bridge, Thizvin tugs the support beams free. "I've got you orcs now," Thizvin chortles with insane glee. Tonight I will feast in Valhalla while you cringe in Queen Hell's domain. The ceiling shudders. Osquips pour out of the facing rock and bear him into the ground. The ceiling collapses, taking the land bridge with it and sealing the cavern. The party may wish to stay, but nothing more can be found in this area. Okay, a couple things here. I mean, it could have been the orcs that took out the forge, or it could have been Osquips. Either way, there should be rumors about this place. Collapsing, while retreating across the bridge, if the Osquips are not going to follow, is fine. Stopping Thizvin, players might try to do that. That may be why we are told he's so strong all of a sudden. Because subduing him is going to be hard. And keeping him subdued. While you're fighting monsters that keep spawning. But the party could, in theory, retreat and not collapse the forge area. Clearly, the writers want the forge area collapsed, because whatever reason. But there you go. Cavern 4. The tunnel to the southwest also has poor rafters embracing echoes and other noises stop an instant after all movement stops. The echoes are caused by the peculiar construction of the tunnel, which is a maze, honeycombed with passages. Even the sound of the smallest stone falling reverberates and creates eerie sound noise. No treasure lies in this tunnel. Okay, so let me show you which tunnel that is. That would be this maze here. So I guess feel free to let them wander around there and make all the noise they want. Seems like this will be heard not just in that area, I would think. And also the collapsing tunnel would probably be heard. The other collapsing tunnel would probably be heard. I mean, we got a lot of things collapsing. It seems like that would be noticed. But moving on to Cavern 5. The tunnel leads northeast about 3,500 feet until a tunnel leads due south from it. This tunnel runs 500 feet and ends in a wall of earth. This portion of the tunnel has collapsed. Once a cavern lay beyond this, but caved in long ago. A few jagged timbers jut out from the wall of earth. If the party looks, they will find a sign in Old Dwarf which reads, "Danger! Bad timbers! No admittance." OSHA's been there. Cavern 6. The main tunnel goes northeast for 2,000 feet and turns due east for 2,000 feet. A side tunnel extends to the southeast and proceeds for 1,500 feet before opening into a cavern. The floor of the cavern is covered with murky waters, because it's always a fun time in murky waters in dungeons. The cavern, 1,500 by 2,000 feet across, is filled with 40 feet of water. Area 6 on the map. Number 6 on the map. A ledge lies on the far side of the cavern, but no exit. All right. So that would be... So here's the collapsed tunnel. When we come up here, here's where they would be right now, this little area. Anyone attempting to swim in the water or cross it attracts the attention of two giant eels. Their armor class is 6. They move 9. Their hit dice is 5. Their hit point is 25 each. Their AT is 1. They damage 3 to 18 on a bite and they don't have any special anything. These white sightless eels, I like that. They're cave eels, so they should be white, are attracted to the vibrations of things disturbing their pool. If killed and cut open, their stomachs will yield their treasure, a ring of fire protection and 200 gold pieces in the first, and a magic wand with one remaining fireball in the second. I mean, if the players were to go everywhere and collect all this stuff, they could be getting outfitted pretty well for down the road. What the eels are surviving on? Well, previously, they clearly, somebody ate a magic user, at least. Magic wand there. And maybe some adventurer had the Ring of Fire. So they're getting fed. They're getting fed. Cavern 7. The wind blows steadily, perhaps just a little stronger than it blew before. About 2,000 feet east of the last tunnel entrance, a tunnel leads north. This tunnel goes for 1,500 feet and ends abruptly in a tumbled wall of earth and stone. Yeah, there should be stories of people going and adventuring off into the woods and never coming back. Oh yeah, this wizard guy. That should be there. So, yeah, this is where we're talking about. So we're right here. Well, if they go up in here. This cave-in cavern was once similar to Cavern 1, but time has taken its toll. The rafters gave way, spilling tons of earth and rubble into the cavern. Rotted timbers stick out from the pile of debris and stone. Cavern 8. The tunnel winds east for 2,000 feet and takes a turn toward the southeast. A tunnel leading to the southwest for 1,200 feet opens into a cavern. The sound of echoing footsteps comes from this tunnel. A die roll of 1 on 1d6 reveals orc footprints in the dust. The tunnel leads to the hideout and treasure room of the orcs, who have been marauding to the west side of Dragon Teeth Mountains. The echoing footfalls were the footprint steps of the orc sentry who was on guard duty at the mouth of the tunnel leading to Cavern 8. He heard the party approaching and fled into the cavern to warn the other orc warriors. Well, considering the amount of noise they're making, I should hope so. The Orc Cave. The tunnel leads to the southwest and opens into a cavern that is 1,500 feet long, 750 feet wide, and 20 feet high. Standing across this opening are 21 figures. One in the lead wears leather armor and carries a spear. Behind him are 3 others in chainmail and a band of about 17 more. They are man-sized, pig-snouted humanoids who converge in grunts and slurred sounds. These are proper orcs. Pig-faced ones. Yes. Okay. The party has come upon the orcs. They are led by the guard who first heard the party coming. Behind him is the leader and 2 assistant leaders. Following them are 17 fighters armed with swords. Well, you got 12 swords, spears 3, and hand axes 2. The leader and his 2 main followers, AC 6, movement 9, hit die 1, hit point 8 each. AT number is 1, damage 1 to 8 with a sword. They don't have any special anything. Carry weapons and shields. The guard and the followers, which are AC 6, movement 9, hit die 1, hit point 6 each, AT 1, damage 1 to 8 with sword. Again, they don't have anything special to carry swords. Well, yes. These orcs belong to the Bloody Hand Band and have their emblems on their shields, which you should totally mention. They follow their leaders and fight until they are wiped out. Again, everybody fights to the death. We really are going to have to address how that is not how you're supposed to play D&D. Okay. Equal numbers of orcs assail each member of the party. The orcs fight to subdue the party as they can enslave them. So the orcs aren't going to try to kill the party. It's important. The orcs will then disarm the party and take them into the back of the cavern. The orcs bind the party members securely, sitting 2 guards over them. If the party overcomes the orcs, because, murder hobo, they may collect the orcs' treasure in the back of the cavern. The treasure is listed in the next encounter. Turn to section 16B, east of the Dragon Teeth Mountains to continue. Okay, so let's take a look where they're at. So they're right in here. No attempt to talk. I see. Hustle. But let's say it all goes well for the orcs, as it was meant to in our story of railroading here. Captured! At the back of the orcs' large cavern, 50 feet away, are 5 wooden chests. A guard stands watch. He leans on a spear, looking ferocious. You weren't nearly as clever as you thought, were you? Tried to sneak by us, but it didn't work, did it? You look fit enough, I suppose. You'll work for a while before you become useless. Know what happens when you become useless? He grins, draws a rough thumb across his throat, and making a slitting sound. The chests hold the orcs' wealth. 3 chests hold 250 gold pieces, 500 silver pieces, and 2,500 copper pieces, respectively. These orcs are into organizing very well. A 4th chest contains 50 uncut gems, 10 to 100 gold pieces each. And the 5th contains the following magical items. See, I told you they're into organizing. 1 potion of giant control, 1 potion of plant control, 1 potion of speed, 1 scroll of protection from undead, and 1 scroll of protection from were-tigers. We have our rats. There's tigers in the woods, maybe. I don't know if there's were-tigers actually in the module, though. But heck, you could put them in. Why not? Okay. So, players are in a pickle, right? Right? Maybe? I don't know. Let's see what the railroad says. Chugga, chugga, chugga. The orcs offer no supper that evening. The next day, breakfast consists of stale hunk of bread and a cup of water. They must have been in a good mood that morning. A guard of 6 orcs enter the cavern. You are to cut firewood and gather brush for fires today. 1 skulls. Come with us. They speak pretty good common. The party still has their armor, unless weapons were concealed well on any of the party. On a 1 to 2, on 1d6. They were found and confiscated by the orcs. The party has no treasure or magical items, unless the magical items were worn on the person and passed over by the orcs who disarmed them on a 1 on a 1d6 roll. The eastern exit of the Dragon Teeth Tunnel. The eastern exit is 5,500 feet down the tunnel. The orc guards are spread out with 3 in front and 3 behind. Once outside, an orc says, "One of you go cut firewood. and holds out an old axe. The rest of you are to gather brush and fallen branches. Another orc warns, if any of you try to escape, the rest will be taken back to the cavern and tortured to death. The orc in charge seems to like that idea. He is armed with a spear and a broadsword. Other orcs are armed only with broadswords. 2 orcs watch the party while the others rest and drink wine or eat. One guard watches the woodcutter. Another watches those gathering falling branches. The four orcs sit between the 2 groups, roughly 150 feet from either. The guards are more interested in watching their friends than a group of prisoners. They should be gambling or something, right? 2 orcs will help each guard if the party attacks. If the party manages to overpower its orcs guards by using the fire axe and large branches as clubs, they can return to the cavern and pillage it if they choose to do so. They will have to sneak up on the guard at the mouth of the orc cave. If the party cannot overpower the orc guards, they are able to escape into the woods. They may then return to surprise the injured orcs and finish them off. Return to the orc cavern. From the cavern comes the sound of shuffling feet. An orc on guard duty stands facing west. During the day, from 1 to 6 guards stand outside the orc cavern. The guards always wear leather armor and carry spears. They expect trouble from the west, so the party has a chance, 1 to 2, or on a 1d6 of sneaking up on them. Although the fight may cause a clamor, there is no one the orcs on duty can go to for immediate help. Once the orcs are wiped out, the party can plunder the cave at leisure. Yep, murder hobos. If the party is fighting, the only one orc remains. He attempts to run for help. If the party follows him, they catch him before he reaches help. If they do not follow him, he ultimately finds his way to the western side of the mountain and tells the raiding party what has transpired. The orcs out pillaging on the west side of the Dragon Teeth Mountains will seek revenge and lie in wait for the party at this pass through the Dragon Teeth Mountains. There you go. So that's the whole cavern setup. You do have some stuff to work with. Here's your exit. The orcs did the talking. But there we go. I guess getting captured is part of an opportunity to get the party some gear. And the dog wants out. So everybody have a great day. We will continue, but yes, it's pretty railroady. The next section is east of the Dragon Teeth Mountains, the Dryad Grove. We have maidens in our future. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.